What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to CM Aviation. I hope each and every one of you are all having a fantastic day today. And today we are celebrating, well, not really celebrating, but we're commemorating or talking about, or however you want to phrase it, the 5-year anniversary of the COVID-19 pandemic, everybody. On March 13th of 2020, this channel, this community, and our entire world completely changed with so many twists and turns, and we're going to talk about it all today because it certainly made my channel what it is today, and there's so much to take away from it. I thought it was only fair to bring JJ on for this video. He has certainly been a huge part of my life since the pandemic. I met him just months before this happened, and I can certainly say that our friendship is what it is today thanks to the pandemic. So JJ, how you doing, buddy? And what would you like to say as we get started with this really crazy video now that we're 5 years into this?
Yeah, thank you. I'm doing really well on my spring break as we approach the 5 years since the whole world essentially shut down. And, you know, I still remember that Friday, March 13th, when my state governor announced that they were going to close all the schools in the state for 2 weeks. And that was the initial thought that all of us had when this virus started spreading around. You know, we all thought that this would just be a temporary thing for only a couple weeks and we would be right back to it. And, you know, that wasn't the case. They kept pushing back the date of us returning to in-person school, and then we had all the online classes and all that through the rest of the year, and eventually then we were all stuck at home then for the rest of the spring and all throughout the summer. And I vividly remember those first few days after everything shut down and just getting accustomed to being at home for what seemed like for just a short period of time, but ended up being indefinite. And I still remember that Friday as well because I got a big order of model airplanes in, and we'll certainly look at that once we get a little later into this video. But yeah, that's just kind of my general vantage point of how, you know, what it was like for me when it first started, when everything was shutting down and all the sports events were getting postponed or canceled and all that. It was big. This is when I knew this was really serious in that moment.
I completely agree with what you just said, and I think that really coincides and brings a bunch of vantage point and light to, you know, what's going on. And yeah, it was just so crazy to see it all happen at once, and that whole week, and that really goes right with spring break for everybody. It just all happened at once. I mean, there was flashes and so forth of, you know, a possibility of having issues and all that, you know, but those just, you know, we hear so much hearsay with current media and so forth that, you know, what were we really supposed to think about that? And then, well, obviously that turned into much more than I thought, and that's exactly what we have here. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and run through it in a chronological order. Here on my channel, I was uploading twice a week before this, and I'm going to show you the first half of 2020, or first portion here of 2020, the first 2 months here before all this happened. So you can see here with the channel recap and so forth, and JJ would absolutely appreciate how much effort I put into these thumbnails, and they're really good. I mean, you got arrows and circles and logos and banners and all of it, man. I mean, these thumbnails get even better. This is just the beginning here, but as you can tell, these thumbnails were awesome, and if I still had as much opportunity to make these as I did then I absolutely would. But you can just tell that the pure enjoyment and fun was there, and that's exactly how it should be. And, you know, it was mainly airport updates, a couple of trip reports, of course. You can also find the safety card memorabilia collection there, so that was nice. Contrail spotting was super fun, so certainly don't want to forget about what that was like and all the pieces to the puzzle on that, so that was cool. And, you know, so many videos that really got us to this point where we are now. Establishing the identity of this channel was very important, so absolutely awesome there, and really want to highlight that. So really cool in that sense. And then obviously, you know, once again, same song, second verse, the spotting vlogs, definitely want to get back to that at some point. Cool to see that. But the amount of effort that was put into these thumbnails is admiring. I mean, you can just see everywhere: failed screen protector installation, new livery 145, a charter, on and on and on. I mean, we're talking about the carpet in the thumbnail, like, it's gonna be good if we're talking about the carpet in the thumbnail. That's pretty epic. But anyway, with that all being said, we really start to progress here, and the thumbnails continue to progress with it. Bizarre Edition, the expansion begins, the devastating collision, the Sun Country debut. Sun Country was already there. I should have said new model, would have been a little bit more appropriate. And then, yeah, the model aircraft that were being released by Gemini were even heating up with all these Southwest specials. That was really cool. And then this channel update was so ironically timed. This was within 4 days of this happening, and just unbelievable that coincided with each other. I just still can't believe that. Like, the last video was a couple of airport updates, and you know, there was just so much progression going on. It was just a weird standard normal at that time, and you know, at that point there had not been any major hurdles since 2012, or sorry, 2008, excuse me. So yeah, it's just crazy to see how fast this all happened, and it happened so fast on this whole week. And I just think JJ, you might remember for sure, but I think this music video, I can't remember. I think that came out the Friday after all this, or it may have been the Friday of, but yeah, I think this was the Friday of March 13th. I think this was the day, but yeah, the last normal airport update was this one, my first update of Orange County, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, that one was on. That one was on that Friday.
It was okay. Thank you.
If I pull it up on my computer, just check the date. Yep, premiered March 13th, 2020. And that's the other thing too as well. The premieres were such a big aspect of your channel.
Gosh, yeah.
Because that's all you did for all the new airport updates and that 1,000 subscriber music video.
Yeah.
You premiered all of those videos, and that
I did.
Especially became more prominent once we found out that this whole lockdown was going to be a long-term thing and not a short-term thing.
Right, and just thinking about the implications of that is crazy, and how it was timed, and all of it's just insane. So as we just start to go through it here, I mean, it's insane. This was one of the last model orders right here that had its old implications with it. That was obviously during that time. And then we have the whole storyline, airport progression with the final episode already of season 1. That happened so fast. So that was impressive. So that's awesome. This video, I think, really tells the story right here. This happened so fast, and just unbelievable that I had the opportunity to go see this with my own eyes, to watch them line up 30 planes on one runway at Tulsa was just unbelievable for American. You can see that here. So that's exactly what this thumbnail shows. And there was obviously not much to do at all besides hang out with everybody and, you know, whatever else. So joking, of course, nobody to hang out with. So obviously I had to go hang out with the plane. So that's exactly what we have here. And then the heavy send off, there was 500 cancellations in one day at Dallas. That was crazy. You can obviously see all these Americans that I'm representing here as well. Unbelievable. And in the rare model collection, there was certainly some very interesting feedback on that. But this video I think is important because this is where the unique videos start. This is when I start to kick it up with videos that are new ideas. I think we're right at teetering with early April at this point. And yeah, like JJ said, this was after 2 weeks. Like, we're not going back. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go above and beyond to find all the video ideas that are going to make my channel enjoyable for people while we have all this time. And that's exactly what we did. Quizzes and room tours and model aircraft retailer videos and spotting vlogs. I mean, they just all started to flood in. I mean, look at these thumbnails. Look at all those arrows, emojis, text font, emojis, all of it. I mean,
the new room setup.
Look at that room. Look at that room, man.
Yeah, I vividly remember all the days and nights that we talked, and you were talking about how that was getting all redone, and then you had to do the Pensacola update in I think it was like a sunroom or something
yes.
similar.
Yes.
Yep. So that was done in a different location, and that's the only time that I can recall anyway that you've done an airport update in a completely different place other than, you know.
That's a great point that you bring up, because I'm going to give you a trick. Actually, in July of 2019, I did do a Pensacola update outside, and I'll show all of you that.
Outdoor. Okay.
I did do an outdoor update, and that can be found right here. So outside those two, no, but yeah, it's really cool to think about that and the implications of it. But yes, it is crazy that we did move.
Yeah, and in all fairness, that one occurred before I came across your channel.
Right,
because I found it.
It was a long time ago.
Late 2019, I think, is when I first found your channel. And then, obviously, when you made the Discord, then in February of 2020, it was the 9th day of that month. Then that's kind of when we really started getting to know each other well and, you know, really building up that friendship over these past 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we're here just looking at all these videos. We'll just start to get in a good groove here. But oh my gosh, the Atlanta tour video and then jumping in a freezing cold pool for 100.
Yep.
That was impressive. So that was an epic one. So I recommend all of you check that out. And then the massive unboxings start to go crazy with all the titles and so forth. And then the storyline airport returns, just epic. There's the model aircraft collection. And then we start with the unboxings. We had the massive DFW update. Somehow got on that Delta MD-88. That was very conveniently timed. So you can see that photo right there. And then definitely got to get back to my honest opinions. That was quite the series there. We got more routes. You can see just all the real life implications on these airport updates now. That Albuquerque thumbnail, that might be the best one right there. There's text everywhere on that. That's epic. 50% cut, ever going to end. Man, that's epic.
And the dynamic duo, the arrow and the circle together.
Oh my gosh,
one picture. That was the duo in the spring. And
that's gonna come back.
2020.
That's gonna come back on my channel. We're gonna bring that back for 5 years. That's epic. We need AE CRJ 900s. That needs to be saved and uploaded somewhere. That's impressive. Got a train video on here. We got in the pandemic with a hashtag. Got Allegiant coming back in. We got the Ultimate American MD-80 montage. That was well timed. Oh my gosh, 15 daily flights at T-Well. I think Southwest has 40 daily flights by themselves at this point, so that tells the story on that. Another massive unboxing, more honest opinions. DFW's recovery, it did not recover, but it was a slight recovery for what it was worth. There's the channel update talking about the pandemic by itself. Crazy. You got the More to Love review, and then you got these Geminis, taking them out, just finding ways to be creative. You got the models video right there for how we afford them. Delta MD-80 retirement, just it starts to go on. And you got the pandemic spotting vlog that tells the story right there. You can see how it's all stanchioned off. You got 2-year anniversary for Albuquerque. I filmed the 7-year anniversary today, so if that tells you how life's going, that's where we're at right now. You got the diversion, the American MD-80s. You got I think that guy is known as Citrus Aviation right there, I believe. So we got that. Got Air Force One on there. You also got the MD-88 send-off, the Air Force One spotting vlog. Man, that's crazy. Alaska Company Store starts to make appearances. Albuquerque again. You got Mom surprising me with the model. That's cool. This video needs to be redone tremendously. This is a really good video for the time. That was a really good video. I was really happy with that at that point.
That's a huge one too, and especially with both of us, we now have so many more models, and also in the rarity department, that's definitely a topic worth reassessing now that we have a lot more experience. And especially, for me as well, I've been able to use eBay fairly often, and I've gotten a lot of really cool models that I wouldn't have been able to get otherwise, and outside of, the other events that we'll talk about towards the end, because that obviously will culminate in our finale.
Absolutely, and that's just crazy. So you can see all that, and this summer was so memorable. I cannot describe, obviously I'm sad that the world's closed, but I cannot describe the amount of fun that I had staying up late, talking with everybody online, enjoying life, making all these videos, cutting grass, and saving up money to buy models. This was a memorable time, and there's never going to be a replacement for this moment in my childhood, and I'm sure JJ will expand on that when we do his video on his channel. But it's insane, everybody. I mean, just look at this. Got the Q&A, more spotting vlogs, trust the process, marvelous P&S redo, big plans for the fall, starting a model aircraft collection. That one needs to certainly be redone. There's way too much. That video needs an immediate redo. So that one's going on the list. That one's been on there, but I keep forgetting to do it. Just look at all these. The tier list thumbnails are back, and that goes crazy. Unlogical SNA progression. That's certainly an interesting title right there. The 1-year anniversary of the American MD-80 retirement. That Korean 333, I know Anderson really liked that video, so I'm glad that he has that model now. So very happy that worked out so well. Got some standstills, and we really start to pick it up here. But I mean, it's just crazy to see how the channel's progressed, and I can't believe that it's happened the way that it has. And all these news videos come on here, and then fan mail starts, and that video was an interesting one. I need to go back and rewatch how that video was probably somewhat irrational, but I'll have to go look at that one. That's impressive that video's on there. But yeah, that's that intro for that October 2020 video. That one could be reused for sure. Yeah, the run of that would be cool to bring that back as well. There's the $1,000 Delta CRJs. Thank goodness that changed shortly after somehow. Just crazy.
Yep, Gemini jets. They probably saw all of this, $1,000 CRJs being sold, and they had a stance where they liked seeing the value of models go up, but I think you got to draw a line somewhere, because I think a lot of people got really irritated with why those things, a little 2-inch model selling for $1,000. Like, why? Why? Someone
It's
got
unbelievable,
it for like
man.
1,600 even through this whole saga, and it's like, good Lord, people.
Here's
But
that
thank
reaction
God
to
we
it
got
right
one.
here. There
Oh,
it is.
yep.
And what a video
Oh
that
my
was. Right after that channel
I-
update.
Vividly remember that day. I got back home.
Then
from
I've
school
made
and-
that hour video of my thoughts on Gemini. That one definitely needs a
Oh.
rewatch. But some of what I said in that video was pretty accurate. So that video aged extremely well considering the circumstances and just looking at all these videos. Got that seatbelt clip, which is really cool. Finally, the first trip report of the pandemic, which is impressive. Pandemic. There we go. Yeah, had to get it in somewhere. Had to get it in somewhere. But at some point,
yes.
there it is. That unboxing right there. That was the grand finale for the pandemic before I had a subchapter start in my life. But you know what? It all happens for a reason, and that was certainly quite the year right there. Before then, my channel turned upside down, so we have quite a lack of videos here. That one unfortunately aged terribly, and then we have just a nice sequence of updates here. Just really unfortunate circumstances, but it made me the person I am today. So we had to take it one step at a time. Some of these thumbnails are just egregious, but that's part of the story, and that just takes us all the way through. And you got the American CRJ at long last. That should not have been that far late, but we finally got it out, and that's what matters. And then you can see all these videos coinciding with each other. Yeah, that was the only option. I mean, I think Pensacola was like Phoenix was 5 months combined. 6 months combined, excuse me. May, June, July, August, September, and October. So Q2 plus some. So no shortage of opportunities, and catching up on the reactions before those had to get their format changed, which I'm glad they have. They have had multiple changes essentially, but I mean, it's just worked out so well. Massive unboxing. I forgot JJ was talking, but that video was extremely substantial for my channel. Massive unboxing, 16 codes and sides with that. Yeah, that video there. There's the American CRJ lineup. That was absolutely epic. And then the in-flight videos, definitely hope to get back to that one day. I need somebody to be hired as a full-time content creator over here. So send me your resume to my email and we'll talk. So yeah, absolutely awesome to see all this. And then, man, just crazy. We ran out of time. Unbelievable circumstances. The fan mail's going crazy. Just checking vlogs, unique flights. It never ends. And then COVID-19, fortunately, was not nearly the roadblock that we had the fear of it being. Unfortunately, the thumbnails continue to get better. Look at this thumbnail right here with all that action on there. Really nice. Obviously, the arrows and so forth have disappeared a little bit at this point, but I definitely hope to get those back in here because they're really fun. That landing video was crazy at Daytona Beach. That was insane. And yeah, it just all keeps adding up, all the fun. And then we said it was going to be the biggest summer ever in that channel update. It's going to be somewhere around here, and then the podcast and so forth. But the big moment where this all changed for good, and then we'll have to do a follow-up video to this 3-year period, is 100% going to be whenever I reach it. I was uploading daily at this point. I forgot. This one I started uploading daily 3 years ago, but Airliners International 2022 at Chicago was the game changer. And what an opportunity that was, and I can't believe that it happened the way that it did, but I'm so glad that it did. Otherwise, I would not be the person I am today, and it's just crazy to see how it all came together, but it's definitely going to be podcast worthy one day for the amount of implications that it has. So, JJ, dude, what do you think of this 2-year period of just craziness and adaptation, and now being 5 years removed from it?
Yeah, I mean, the changes that have occurred with our world, with our society, and what we've done here on YouTube, it's shaped us into who we are. I mean, I don't know what I would be doing if we didn't have COVID. We didn't have all these big lockdowns and all that. Would I have stopped doing YouTube after a few years, because with all the time that we had at home, it gave me the opportunity to add all this fun content, do more videos on a regular basis, because I'll talk about it in my video, but I didn't have a regular schedule prior to COVID. And when I went into the new decade, I kind of wanted to have a consistent schedule. And COVID just sort of enabled that. And now, I did 1 weekly, and now I'm up to about 3 weekly, and I occasionally hit daily depending on how much I've got in the backlog. And hopefully, I'd love to do daily like you do, Connor, but with me, it does get busy around
You've
here.
definitely kicked it up, man. I'm very proud of what you've done, because it was just kind of slow rolling it there for a while, but getting those release videos and your one-offs in there have certainly made a tremendous difference. So that's been exciting to watch, and I'm really eager to see what happens, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a fun journey over the last 5 years, and
more collabs.
I don't know what I don't know what I would be doing, even for not just within YouTube, but for my own life, because I'm not going down the road of aviation. I'm going down a completely different career path. But whilst I'm still doing that, I still love to have this passion for aviation, and I argue that it's been stronger ever since I made that career switch,
man.
prior to going to college. And I've enjoyed doing my career aspirations, but at the same time, I still want to keep doing this for as long as I can. And whether or not it'll conflict, if it does conflict, I always hope for it to be in a positive way. And the content that I've been making over the last several years has certainly been pretty positive and definitely enjoyable for many people all over the world. And I'm certainly excited to continue doing that as we move forward, and I know you're feeling the same way as well.
Absolutely, and that's where we're going to take this over to JJ's channel, as we're going to have part 2 where he's going to talk about the implications and what went on his channel. So I hope all of you are excited for that. It's going to be absolutely awesome. So crazy to think what this pandemic's done, but it's certainly been the difference in our life, and we really hope all of you have enjoyed it very much. So JJ, any additional thoughts, or are you just ready to bounce over to part 2 and we'll take it from here?
Yeah, I'm excited to get into part 2 and just talk about kind of my vantage point and what's changed for me ever since this whole pandemic hit.
Absolutely. So with that being said, everybody, we really hope all of you enjoyed this video. Head on over to JJ's channel. We'll talk about it all in part 2 and continue to move forward. But with that being said, that'll do it for today's video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. My name's CM Aviation. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Trust the process. Do love and love what you do. My name's CM Aviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon, as CM Aviation is signing off.